You know that feeling when you're this close to doing something amazing, like starting that project, going to the gym, finally replying to that email from 3 weeks ago, and then your brain just pulls the emergency brake? Yeah, mine too. Just yesterday, I sat down to write this very script, and suddenly I realized that my bookshelf needed to be alphabetized by color, and then by height, and then by how much I emotionally connect with each author. Before I knew it, I was 3 hours deep into reorganizing books I haven't touched since 2017. And guess what? The script was still just a blinking cursor, mocking me. Why do we do this? Why do we sabotage ourselves right at the edge of a breakthrough? Is it laziness? Fear? A deep-seated belief that we don't deserve nice things? Well, yes, but also no. It's actually your brain trying to protect you from success. And I know that sounds like a paradox, like saying, I'm protecting you from this delicious pizza by eating it myself. But stick with me. Today, we're going to look at why your inner monkey throws bananas at your own face right when you're about to win, and more importantly, how to finally get that little guy to chill out and let you succeed. Let's paint the picture. You've got a goal. Maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's writing a novel, maybe it's just getting through a workday without rage eating a bag of chips in the supply closet. You're motivated, you're fired up, you've got your coffee, your playlist, your special focus candle that smells like ambition and regret. You sit down to work, and then, poof, the motivation vanishes like my willpower at a free dessert buffet. Suddenly, everything else becomes critically important. Your phone needs to be checked, your email needs to be checked, your fridge needs to be checked, just in case new food magically appeared since you checked it 12 minutes ago. You'll do literally anything except the one thing that moves you forward. You'll scrub grout, you'll organize your desktop icons into a rainbow gradient, you'll have a deep existential conversation with your cat about whether she thinks you're a failure. This, my friends, is your inner monkey at work. See, in monkey mind theory, we've got two parts of ourselves. You've got the human, that's the part that wants to write the book, get in shape, start the business, be a functional adult who pays taxes on time. And then you've got the monkey, the ancient, panicky, sugar-addicted gremlin living in your brain whose only job is to keep you safe, comfortable, and stuffed with easy bananas. The monkey doesn't care about your dreams. The monkey cares about not dying. And to the monkey, not dying means not doing anything scary or new. So right when you're about to take a risk, to put yourself out there, to actually try, the monkey grabs the nearest banana and throws it at your face to distract you. And you, being a civilized human, stop to catch the banana. Because hey, free banana.
So why is your brain wired like a paranoid squirrel on espresso? Let's get into the juicy neuroscience. And I promise I'll make it as digestible as a ripe banana smoothie. Deep in the center of your brain, you've got something called the amygdala. Think of it as your brain's smoke detector. Its job is to scan for threats 24/7, even when you're sleeping. Back in the savannah days, this was great. Rustling grass? Could be a lion. Better run. That berry? Looks like the one that killed Steve last week. Better not eat it. The amygdala kept our ancestors alive long enough to reproduce, which is why we're all here and not worm food. Here's the problem. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a lion and a blank page. To your smoke detector, public speaking, lion. Asking for a raise? Lion. Starting a creative project where you might fail and look stupid? Lion. Lion, lion, lion. So when you sit down to do the thing that matters, your amygdala screams danger and floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart races, your palms sweat. You feel this overwhelming urge to run away and hide under your weighted blanket while watching The Office for the 17th time. Now, here's where the monkey metaphor gets really good. You've also got the prefrontal cortex, the human part, the CEO, the wise leader in your brain, who can plan, think long-term, and delay gratification. This is the part that wants to write the script, to go to the gym, to have the difficult conversation. But the prefrontal cortex is like a brand new intern who just started. It's slow, it's thoughtful, it needs time to process. The amygdala? That's a chaotic middle manager who's been with the company for 40 years, has zero filter, and will pull the fire alarm because someone microwaved fish in the break room. Guess who wins the argument when the fire alarm goes off? You don't calmly discuss evacuation routes with the fire alarm. You run. So you run to Instagram, you run to the kitchen, you run anywhere except the thing that triggers the alarm. And here's the kicker. This isn't a design flaw. Your brain isn't broken. It's actually working perfectly according to its original programming. The problem is that your programming is 200,000 years old, and you're trying to run modern software on it. It's like trying to load Netflix on a Commodore 64. It's going to glitch, and it's going to convince you that a blank document is a mortal threat.
Okay, so we know the monkey throws bananas. We know the amygdala is a drama queen. But here's where it gets really sneaky, and honestly, a little insulting.
The sabotage doesn't just happen before you start. It happens right when you're about to succeed. This is what psychologists call fear of success, and it's not as fancy as it sounds. It's not that you're afraid of having $1 million in a yacht. It's that you're afraid of what happens after. Success means visibility. Success means expectations. Success means you have to keep being successful, or else you're a fraud who fooled everyone. And that terrifies the monkey. Because the monkey's number one priority, above happiness, above fulfillment, above your dreams, is social belonging. Back in the tribe, if you stood out too much, if you were too different, you might get kicked out. And getting kicked out of the tribe 100,000 years ago meant certain death. So your monkey would rather you be mediocre and safe than successful and potentially exiled. So right when you're about to cross the finish line, right when you're about to land the client, finish the masterpiece, finally ask that person out, the monkey pulls out the big guns. It doesn't just distract you, it convinces you that you're an imposter. It whispers, "Who do you think you are? You're not ready. You're not good enough. They're going to find out you have no idea what you're doing." And you believe it because it feels true. It feels like wisdom. It feels like humility. But it's just fear wearing a trench coat and pretending to be logic. This is the deeper sabotage. It's not just procrastination. It's a full-blown identity crisis engineered by your own brain to keep you small. And the worst part? When you give in, the monkey rewards you. It gives you a little dopamine hit for being safe. Good job, human. You didn't take the risk. You didn't get rejected. You're still in the tribe. Here's a banana. And you feel relieved for about 30 seconds. And then you feel like garbage because you know you sold yourself out. Again. Solutions, the how-to. All right, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about how we actually fix this. How do we train the monkey to stop throwing bananas and start peeling them for us? Here are 6 specific actionable strategies that actually work, and I'll explain why each one messes with your brain in exactly the right way. Name the monkey. The first step is simple. Catch the little guy in the act. When you feel that sudden urge to check your phone, clean your room, or reorganize your spice rack by chronological order of acquisition, just stop and say it out loud. Oh, that's the monkey. That's it. Just name it. You don't have to fight it, you don't have to argue, you just have to label the experience. This works because it activates your prefrontal cortex, the human CEO. By naming the feeling, you shift activity from the emotional amygdala to the rational part of your brain. You're basically saying, "I see you, monkey. I know you're scared, but I'm driving now." It creates a tiny gap between impulse and action, and in that gap, you have a choice. The 5-minute rule. This is my favorite brain hack. Tell yourself you're only going to do the scary thing for 5 minutes. That's it. Set a timer. You can do anything for 5 minutes, right? Even writing a script, even doing one push-up, even starting that terrifying email. The monkey is fine with 5 minutes because 5 minutes doesn't feel like a threat. It feels like a tiny, manageable banana. Here's the trick. Once you start, the resistance usually dissolves. Getting started is the hard part. Momentum does the rest. 9 times out of 10, you'll keep going after the timer goes off because you've already bypassed the initial wall of fear. And if you don't, if you stop after 5 minutes, congratulations. You still did 5 minutes more than you would have done. That's a win. Feed the monkey on a schedule. Your monkey is going to want bananas. It's going to want distraction, comfort, and easy dopamine. Instead of fighting that 24/7, which is exhausting and doomed to fail, schedule it. Give the monkey specific times when it gets to run wild. Okay, from 4 to 4:15, I will watch TikTok and think about nothing. The rest of the time, when the monkey screams for attention, you say, "Not now." You get your bananas at 4. This is called structured procrastination, and it works because you're not depriving the monkey, you're just postponing the treat. It's like telling a toddler they can have dessert after dinner instead of letting them eat cake for breakfast. The toddler might fuss, but deep down, they know the rules. Make the stakes real and immediate. The monkey doesn't care about your future. It cares about right now. So you have to make the consequences of not acting feel more immediate than the discomfort of acting. One way to do this is with a commitment device. Tell someone you'll send them your work by Friday, and if you don't, you have to donate $50 to a cause you hate. Or use an app that locks you out of your phone. Or put your money where your mouth is. When the monkey realizes that avoiding the work actually leads to a worse outcome right now, like losing money or public embarrassment, it suddenly reevaluates. It decides that maybe the work isn't so scary after all compared to losing $50 to an organization that sends you junk mail forever. Visualize the process, not just the outcome. We love to daydream about the finish line, the book signing, the weight loss reveal, the corner office. But here's the problem. Your brain processes those daydreams as rewards already achieved. You get a little dopamine hit just from imagining success, which tricks your brain into thinking you've already done the work, so you feel satisfied without actually doing anything. Instead, visualize the process. Imagine sitting down in the chair. Imagine the struggle of the first draft. Imagine the boredom of the 3rd mile. Imagine the frustration of debugging code. When you visualize the grind, you mentally rehearse for it. You prepare the monkey for the reality of work, not just the fantasy of success. It's like watching a video of someone peeling a banana instead of just looking at the banana. You see the effort and you're ready for it. Detach your identity from the outcome. This one sounds deep, but it's practical. The monkey is terrified of failure because it thinks failure means you are a failure. It attaches your identity to every result. So you have to practice separating what you do from who you are. You tried and failed? Great. That's data. That's information. That's not a judgment on your soul.
When you stop needing every attempt to be perfect, the monkey relaxes. It realizes, oh, we can just try stuff and see what happens. We don't die if it doesn't work. Okay, cool. This is the ultimate freedom. It's the difference between saying, I am a failure, and saying, I had a failure. One is an identity, the other is an event, and events pass.
So what happens when you actually start doing this? What's the long-term benefit of training the monkey, besides getting more work done? It's bigger than productivity. It's about trust. Every time you tell the monkey, I see you're scared, but we're doing this anyway, and then you actually survive, you build trust with yourself. The monkey learns, slowly, painfully, that the lion isn't actually there, that the blank page didn't bite, that the conversation didn't end in exile from the tribe. Over time, the alarms get quieter, the resistance gets weaker. You stop treating every challenge like a life or death situation and start treating it like what it is, just a thing you're doing on a Tuesday. And remember that paradox from the beginning, that your brain sabotages you to protect you from success? The payoff is that when you understand this, you stop fighting yourself. You stop calling yourself lazy. You stop wondering why you can't just get your act together. You realize you're not broken. You're just human, with a very loud, very scared monkey in your head. And once you see that, you can start working with your brain instead of against it. You can catch the banana, thank the monkey for its concern, and then put the banana aside and do the work anyway. That's the moment everything changes. Not when the fear goes away. It never fully goes away. But when you stop letting the fear drive. When you realize that courage isn't the absence of the monkey. Courage is hearing the monkey scream, feeling your heart race, and saying, yeah, I hear you. We're still doing this. And then you do it. And you survive. And you do it again. And eventually, you look back and realize you've built a life that your scared, banana-hoarding monkey never could have imagined. A life where you're not just safe, you're actually alive. Look, your monkey is never going to retire. It's never going to stop caring about bananas. It's hardwired into your skull, and it's been doing this job for hundreds of thousands of years. You can't fire it, you can't replace it, but you can train it. You can be the calm, patient human who gently takes the leash and says, this way, buddy. I know it's scary, but I've got us. Trust me. So next time you're about to do something important and you feel that sudden, overwhelming urge to reorganize your bookshelf or deep clean your keyboard with a cotton swab, just pause, smile, and thank the monkey for trying to protect you. Then do the work anyway. The bananas can wait. If this video helped you see your own inner monkey a little more clearly, smash that like button so hard the monkey hears it. Subscribe if you want more brain hacks, life strategies, and terrible monkey puns. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to join a community of humans training their monkeys together, consider joining the channel membership. Link is down below. Thank you so much for watching. Be kind to your monkey. I'll see you in the next one.